So 1 minute Wednesday, too quick apparently. 3 minute Thursday, probably not going to be punchy enough for me. So, I guess this is 2 minute Tuesday. So Peter McKinnon, the really popular videographer, photographer, cinematographer on YouTube, already runs 2 Minute Tuesday on his channel, hence why I didn't want to nick the idea, but sod it, I'm here now. So 2 minutes on the clock. Let's go and get in close. Right, so what we're going to be making today is the protrusion stop for a honing guide. So a lot of you, after watching my sharpening video on how to get a deadly sharp edge on a chisel or how to get a stupidly sharp edge on a plane blade, you're asking how to make this protrusion stop so I can get exactly the same angle each time. If you have one of those cheap honing guides that is quite mass produced, so we sell them at Axminster under the Ryder brand, on the side of that honing guide, it actually has the protrusions already printed on it. And on these cheaper honing guides, you have a lower section and you have a top section for clamping chisels and plane blades respectively. So written on the side of that, it'll have 30 degrees written for a chisel projection and 30 degrees written for a plane blade projection. The Lee Nielsen one actually came with a little booklet in it which had the protrusion distances already written in it, so I just applied that to here. But if you have a honing guide that is not supplied with printed instructions on the side or a little booklet with all the protrusions written on there, this video helps. So in close now. So here we're going to make a stop block for 25 degrees and 30 degrees, and all we're going to do is get the blade in our honing guide like this, get it snugged up in there but it's still able to move forward and backwards, and then here I've got my little bevel box. Zero that to the workbench. I'm going to stick it on here because it's magnetic, and then I'm just going to look on here until that says 30 degrees. And there we go, that's at 30 degrees now, so I'm just going to lock that off, pop the blade on there, stop block on there like that. So I'm going to get a knife, score that along the front here, so line it up with that line, drill through like that. Just going to drill a clearance hole in that now, and then we can screw this down. So one in there like that, and now because we've got one in there, we can slightly pivot it to match up with that line perfectly. Now we have a stop block at 30 degrees, so every time we lock that in there, our blade is going to be exactly the same. So we'll do exactly the same for 25 now. Stick the bevel box on there, knife line along there, pile it through one side. 30 degrees on there, 25 degrees on there, and now we have our secondary bevel stop and we have our primary bevel stop. Done. There we go, that is how you make a very down and dirty protrusion stop for your honing guide. Obviously, if time wasn't of the essence, I would have probably countersunk those screws, but couldn't be bothered. Also, if you don't have one of these bevel boxes, firstly you should, but secondly, you could also use a D-head protractor. I will put a link to one of those in the description. It will give you exactly the same job, just not with the digital readout on this, and you have to be a little bit more precise. But now you're able to make a protrusion stop for your honing guide, and your sharpening should be much more accurate and repeatable from here on. See you in the next one.